All right, guys, welcome back to another video. If it's your first time here, thanks for stopping by. If you enjoy daily gaming content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Now, we got 2024's first announcement for Xbox Game Pass games. There are 4 games coming over to the service with this first slate, and it's a pretty good list with some big hitters and some smaller ones, and just a nice variety of games to be able to play to kick off the year. The first game here that is available today on cloud, console, and PC is Close to the Sun, which is a first-person horror adventure game where you're going through, and it says here, you're deep in international waters. Tesla's Helios stands still, an unbound utopia for scientific research. Rose Archer steps abroad in search of her sister, quickly to discover not all as it is as it seems. And we can take a quick look here kind of the gameplay itself. It looks pretty good graphically, and you can see there's just going to be scares through this game, some adventuring, and just probably stuff that ends up being unexpected. So this one actually looks pretty cool. I think it's a rather shorter game, maybe like 4 or 5 hours to get through. Maybe one that if you're just looking for a different experience with a different avatar, one to check out. I think I will check it out. I've already started downloading it. The next one here is Hell Let Loose, which is coming January 4th, so available right now on cloud, PC, and the Xbox Series X and S. And this is a online 100-player battle first-person shooter. I watched some of it. It looks pretty intense. You're definitely going to have to learn how to play as a team to make sure that you get to victory in this type of game. So pretty cool there. Another first-person shooter. It will be great having this on Game Pass. Everybody's going to be able to jump in right away and play through and play with their friends and stuff. Then we have Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is coming January 9th to cloud, console, and PC. I love this game. I know this is one of those Assassin's Creed that is split. People think it was too long and all this type of stuff, but I just sunk over 100 of hours into this game, 100 and some hours. And there's so many more hours I could be sinking into it as well. I even played all the DLC and stuff. It was a great game. I really enjoyed it. I love the worlds that Ubisoft actually builds with their open world games. And I'm actually a fan of going and running through the world and always having something to do. I know that was one of the things that people disliked about these big open world Assassin's Creed games is there's so much to do. You were always getting sidetracked, but it kind of kept me addicted to the game, which is probably why they do that. So I like it. If you're an Assassin's Creed fan, I'd highly recommend it. I've just finished as well Assassin's Creed Mirage, where you get to play as Basim, who is also in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. The next up, we have Figment here coming to cloud, console, and PC on January 9th. This is an action adventure game, and it looks pretty cool graphically, very unique in the graphic style, but you can see kind of what they're going for here. So this is one to check out if you're into those styles of games. Then up next, we have We Happy Few, which is interesting. This is Compulsion Games. This is a first-party Xbox game, so it must have been in the service previously. It got cycled out, and now it is coming back in. This is January 11th. Definitely one that if you're into just psychological weird narratives, one to check out. It says here, making a return to the Game Pass library from Compulsion Games set in a drug-fueled retro-futuristic city in an alternative 1960s England. We Happy Few is an action-adventure game in which you hide, fight, and conform your way out of a delusional, joy-obsessed world. So if you're into some weird stuff here, check out We Happy Few. Resident Evil 2, the remake, coming January 16th through cloud, console, and PC. Phenomenal. This is probably my favorite Resident Evil remake they've made. That and Resident Evil 4, I really enjoyed both those, but Resident Evil 2 blew me away the first time I loaded that game up. And to see how they remade it, how incredibly they remade it, the graphics and everything, phenomenal. Definitely go check out this one. Then we have Those Who Remain, which is a first-person psychological thriller. You can kind of see it here, and it seems like that's kind of a theme here with this first slate of Game Pass games. With Close to the Sun, you have Those Who Remain, and We Happy Few, these psychological horror style of games in first person that are all making their way onto the service. So I think overall, pretty good list of games here. I mean, you will be definitely occupied if you are looking for something to play. You will find something here that you do enjoy, and you're going to have games here like Assassin's Creed Valhalla where you can spend hundreds of hours in if you like it. The other one here as well that I did forget to mention, Super Mega Baseball 4, which I must have skipped over it, coming January 11th. The Super Mega Baseball games are phenomenal. They're just a ton of fun, cloud console and PC. Now, we haven't gotten an Activision announcement yet, and I feel like that's going to come with a special event or something, maybe at a showcase or a developer direct that a lot of people are saying is happening in January. There has been zero official announcement, but the rumors are picking up. We have this here, and this comes via the insider Ecstasies, who is claiming that he heard something about it, or I heard something about an upcoming developer direct show and some of the games that will potentially be there. So it says here, it was in Spanish, it gets translated via Google Translate, and here is what Ecstasies says. He says, Xbox is setting the stage for a new developer direct event following in the footsteps of the successful start of 2023. At this upcoming event, expect fascinating presentations with news about the titles already announced, giving players a look behind the curtain, some of the most anticipated projects like Hellblade and Towerborn. But here comes the main dish. I am told that during this event, we could witness a new shadow drop or surprise release, with the game being available at the same event or even several weeks later. It may not be exactly the same as Hi-Fi Rush, but we would have something very similar from a game with a close release date. So, I mean, not very much is being said there. This essentially sounds like he's looking at what happened last year and predicting, anticipating that the exact same thing is going to happen this year, which is a prediction that would make a ton of sense. I mean, Xbox was very successful with their developer direct in 2023, so I feel like they're going to want to continue along those lines going forward. They've said they want to do more developer directs, so not a real big prediction here. I mean, if they do have a developer direct, of course they're going to show the games that are already out there in the works, like Hellblade 2 and Towerborn. The big thing here would be a shadow drop. I mean, are they going to do another shadow drop? That is the question. It would be awesome if they did another shadow drop, and if they did this as an annual thing here, where we're getting a game that nobody knows about, nobody even knew was in development or have any information about, and then we get to go ahead and play it right away after they announce it. That's always something that gets people excited. So we will see. Still waiting on the official announcement from Xbox about a 2024 developer direct. Now, if you like the Xbox Series X fridge, there may be another item here for you that you want to look into, and is the Xbox Series S toaster. Apparently it's real, and it is now out in the United States. You can see it here. It's just I believe a one bread toaster. So, oh no, two bread. Okay, you can get two pieces of bread in there. I guess that's just a big piece in there. It says here, meet the Xbox Series toaster. This appliance will take your kitchen countertop to the next level. The shade selector dial lets you toast your bread, English muffins, frozen waffles, and bagels exactly how you like them every time, anywhere from lightly toasted to dark. Multiple family members or roommates keep a list of everyone's settings to score the group breakfast bonus. And it goes on here and just kind of talks a little bit more about the design and how it has to do with Xbox. You can see it. I mean, it looks like a Series S. It's going to be costing $40, and it is officially the Xbox Series S 2-slice toaster. So there you go. Has 4 5-star reviews at the time that they did write this article. Now, I mean, to me, these are just kind of novelty. The same thing with the Xbox Series X fridge, the first one they put out. Very novelty. I did pick one up and then I returned it because it was kind of useless. I thought it was going to actually make things colder, but it didn't really do a great job. So I feel like this here is going to be very similar. It'll toast your bread, but it's not going to give it the most premier toast that you would hope for, I guess, when you are picking up a toaster. So kind of novelty items, but kind of funny and cool that they're actually making appliances out of the Xbox consoles. All right, let's jump over here and let's talk about Nintendo Switch 2. We are January 4th. And we're already getting into the major rumors about the Nintendo Switch 2 because everybody is expecting this console to launch in 2024, expecting it to come in here and be a real competitor to the Xbox Series XS and the PlayStation 5. There's been many rumors about the power. Are they going to have a Pro version? Is it just going to be a small upgrade to the current Nintendo Switch? Because we know Nintendo, they don't care about power. I mean, they jumped out of the power game after the GameCube generation, where they got completely destroyed by the PlayStation 2. They realized that they don't need to compete with Sony and with Microsoft going forward in terms of the power narrative. it's not something that really sells their consoles. And we've definitely seen that with how well Nintendo Wii did, how well the Nintendo Switch did and is continuously doing. But now we have some more information here. This comes from, I mean, the famous Dr. Sirkin Toto, who always has these predictions. He's a Tokyo-based games industry analyst at the consultancy Kantan Games, and he contributed his forecast for 2024. And here's what he is saying the Nintendo Switch 2, the next generation, is going to be. He says, according to Kantan Games Toto, the console could launch at $400, which is $100 higher than the current Nintendo Switch when that launched. And there's a chance its games could adopt that $70 pricing of the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, specifically saying, the time is finally here for a Switch successor. Even though I can say a Pro model actually did exist and certain developers were already working with the dev kit, which is interesting because that's the rumor we did hear in 2023, I believe, at was a Gamescom or something, that apparently a dev kit was circulating, something along those lines. But there was rumors about the Switch dev kit circulating in the hands of the developers, and he kind of is confirming that there was a Pro model. He says, though, I believe the next hardware will drop in 2024 for 400, and there is a high chance that games will cost more too, which is $70. And the next system is also likely to be an iteration rather than a revolution. Nintendo might add some bells and whistles to the device, but it will be similar to the current Switch. And because there is Pokemon and Pokemon is associated with handheld gaming, there is no way on earth Nintendo will drop the portability feature for their next big thing. So, two interesting things here. One, not being a revolution, not being something that is going to blow you away in terms of a spec upgrade from the current platform. Just another iteration, like similar, I guess you could say, to the Nintendo Switch OLED, where that was essentially an iteration of the original Nintendo Switch, giving you the bells and whistles of a much beautifuler screen, if beautifuler is even a word. But we're going to see something similar here, probably slightly more power, maybe a nicer screen, maybe a bigger screen, maybe some upgrades to the controls, make them a little bit more comfortable or something along those lines. And I could almost bet that it's going to be completely backwards compatible, and there are going to be games that you have to get the new Switch to play, games that will be coming out as well on the Xbox and the PS5 with obviously lower resolutions and stuff like that. So that's sounding like what the Switch is going to be. Not that surprising. I didn't think that they were going to put out a console that was going to be even close to what the X or the PS5 power is, even though now, I guess, 3, almost 4 years down the line from when they released in 2020, they are far lower on the power totem pole compared to what you can get on PC. So the Switch is going to be even under that. I'm thinking less than the Series S and slightly higher than the Nintendo Switch. And then obviously the other interesting thing here, which again, not really a surprise, they're not going to abandon handheld gaming. I mean, that is one of the main selling features for a lot of people with the Nintendo Switch, is that they can play it in portable. I think more people play it in portable and never really connected to their TV. I'm the opposite. I play it more on my TV, but that isn't surprising at all. So we will see. I mean, I'm excited to see what Nintendo has in store, what changes they will make, and hopefully we get an announcement soon. And then we'll see if this releases like they did with the first Switch in March, or if they're going to push it to the end of the year. Lots to look forward to this year in 2024. Now, when it comes to The Outer Worlds 2, we're going to jump over here and talk about this, because a little bit of information here, nothing too crazy, but the original creator of the Fallout franchise, Tim Kaine. I mean, if you like Fallout, you know who Tim Kaine is. Apparently, he is consulting on The Outer Worlds 2. This was found out on here, rockpapershotgun.com, based off of Tim Kaine's dev stories that are on YouTube, and he said he is going to be consulting on The Outer Worlds 2. So I'm excited about this. You should be expecting a really interesting narrative. I mean, the first one was interesting, and then we should see that expanded going into the second one. And I think overall an expansion of the game itself. And it sounds like that this game may be closer than we expect. Maybe this is going to be a 2025 release. They did show off and announce it, or maybe it was, I think it was 2021 they did that or something at the Xbox showcase. But this is another huge game that Xbox has. When you think about all of the games in their repertoire, that it may not be the first one that comes to mind because of all of the other RPGs they have, but the Outer Worlds is phenomenal, and I cannot wait to see what the Outer Worlds 2 does have in store. All right, let's quickly go over this because this is a game that comes out very soon, coming out on January 15th. And honestly, I know this is right at the beginning of the year, but this is one of the games I'm most excited for. When they first showed it off, I thought it looked phenomenal. And I think a lot of people hated on this game because it wasn't the Prince of Persia that they were expecting. But people's perception now is completely changing based off of a lot of the previews and the gameplay that we've seen. Prince of Persia Lost Crown looks really, really good, and we have some more information about it. It's going to be 60 FPS on all platforms, and I believe it's actually going to be going up to 120 FPS on the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, and 120 FPS at 4K, which is pretty cool. But besides that, there's going to be puzzles and new abilities that you get to discover in the game. There's going to be parkour and combat boss fights. It's the team who's making this is the team behind Rayman Legends, which is a great game. And it's going to be a 2.5D Metroidvania platformer that is about a 25-hour game. So that's pretty long for a Metroidvania game. It's pretty long for a platformer, but I'm all for it if it's great gameplay and it's fun. I love these styles of games. So 25 hours to me, I think is awesome. And from what we've seen, I mean, it looks very, very good. I really hope it doesn't let me down when it does finally release. And finally, let's talk about this because acquisitions are always the talk of the games industry, at least in the era that we're in right now. And CD Projekt Red has always been one of those developers that has been in the rumors. It was rumored to be getting purchased by PlayStation. Was rumored that they were selling and looking to be acquired, and it looks like that is actually not the case. This is from an interview with Projekt and Adam Kaczynski, who stepped down as the CEO on January 1st and assumed the role of the Chief Strategy Officer. And this is what he has to say about acquisitions. He says, "These are just rumors. We have always had a clear position supported by the regulations included in the statute. We are not interested in being included in any larger entity. We have worked our whole lives to get to the position we have now, and we believe that in a few years we will be even bigger and stronger. We have ambitious plans. We are passionate about what we do. We value our independence." He says independence is really attractive. It's kind of freedom. And he also spoke about the potential for the company itself making acquisitions in 2024. He says, "We do not plan any acquisitions at this time. Of course, we are open to ideas that could accelerate the implementation of our strategy, but we are not interested in purchases that would only aim to include the acquired companies in our group and consolidate their financial results. We don't see any value in that." So there it is. Looks like CD Projekt Red is nowhere near looking to be getting acquired. And that honestly makes complete sense. You think about what happened with Cyberpunk. If they were going to be getting acquired, probably would have been immediately after the whole Cyberpunk debacle, where they may have thought, hey, we are not going to be able to recover from this. We're going to lose a ton of money. So let's try to get acquired here and have a bigger company save us. Now, we all know what happened with Cyberpunk. It was a brutal release. They essentially lied to people in what they promised them, especially on the PS4 and the Xbox One versions of the games. But it didn't affect how successful this game was. I mean, a lot of people were outraged about it, and for good reason. But Cyberpunk bounced back and has done phenomenal financially and just as a critical success. So they really bounced back. And then you think about the future, they are only going to get bigger and they are only going to grow and become more profitable because they are working on The Witcher 4, and that's going to be one of the biggest games released when it does come out, and they're going to be making a ton of money off that. So selling right now would make no sense when they're definitely on the upswing to becoming a bigger, more profitable company. But I'm going to end the video there, guys. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up. If you are new here, hit that subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.